Hey, good evening, people. 9:56 Mountain Time, PM there, Thursday, August 29th. I want to get right to it. I'm going to use this time for some tribe and nation building. I think it's important moving forward. And this is shouts out. Now I'm going to direct this message to American descendants of slaves, ADOS. I actually just became aware of it. I've been doing a lot of research, but it makes a lot of sense. Now, me speaking as a black man in America, growing to identifying who you are to make better choices for your family, your community, and your last name. Growing up in poverty, one way you need to be able to grow out of that is identifying who you are. You have to strip yourself of all that other shit that's going on around you. So that on that case, that's what I've done. And American Descendants of Slaves is a good originating place for me. As a black man originating from America, it makes so much sense. Now, with that being said, we need to really get behind that, black Americans, and really build up its levels of expectations, what have you. I think it's safe to call ADOS a tribe. If you look at the history from the Americans, descendants of slaves, it'll go back and show you the great tragic and time that we are arisen from. So to my white and Mexican families, this is not an exclusion. This is not a single out. This is not a bitter moment. This is to help other kids like myself. That was that lost puppy that had no identification of originating place. And to the black American tribe, it's time for us to take ownership, not only on tangible things, but our actions, how we think and how we treat the environment around us. Antonio Moore, shouts out to you, and they're on it, man. And Antonio Moore said it the best last Friday, I think it was. Like, this is a great time right now, ADOS, and really the whole nation of America. ADOS, we really need to pay attention to the opportunity that we have, and really make sustainability a foundation for moving forward for ADOS. We've been fighting, searching, looking for an identity. We've come up with the best one ever. We need to make sure we sustain it here on earth or wherever we go. We need to make sure that without a doubt we're able to identify the adding value that we've given humanity. While doing such, we need to make sure that we look within. We didn't grow from oppressive to slavery and all that such to who we are now to not be supreme in this moment. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, Coach Mike Douglas. Shouts out to you, and thank you for this direction of seeing things. It's kind of been my sensei out here in Northern Colorado. But, I was telling him, man, I looked at reparations as a handout. He told me it's only something a hater would say, because if you look at the facts, it shows that what was taken and what was actuality. But as human beings, once that reparation, or if we're looking for that at all, we need to make sure that we start anew. Way of thinking. It's the shift talk. That understanding that we have been oppressed. We have been been created to think a certain way. No one can argue that. But what we do from this point on now is going to speak volume. And I've said it in my previous podcast, I really feel like the world is looking on to the American Negro. I really feel like the world is like, okay, we've seen every other nation, kind of from China to Russia to it's time to rise to the occasion, American Black Tribe. It's really time to talk big facts and stop being labeled as a movement or a group, like Sharik said. We need to identify ourselves as a tribe, like an Indian tribe. Takes a boss to look, though. I'm out.